then for us,
Yes.
right? So we can open there. You good to
Cool.
go? Let's go and play.
Yeah. What's the ticker? Yeah. What's the ticker? Where's it at? What is the ticker? Where's it at? I got crypto in the bag, send the CA in the chat. Gonna ape another fat, got a runner on the map. So line of sniping like a gat, and the Sowie is moving quickly. I'm the squeeze them where they at. I'm trying to bring them in back. 1,000x is gonna land. I got he chilling in the back, and the gas fees are gonna slap. Where's the ticker? Where's it at?
All right, so welcome everybody. Then officially welcome everybody on a live stream on YouTube. I'm happy you guys are watching and are around. Also on the live stream on X. Hello to the viewers there, and of course everybody here in the room. We just gotta wait for the room to fill up a little bit. Take some time. We're kind of early, so we're just gonna say good morning. Good morning, Tick. Are you speaking to a closed microphone, Tick?
Oh, I was grabbing my coffee. Sorry.
Girl,
Sorry.
all right, cool.
I'm here though. I could still hear you. I was just right around the corner. Anyway, yes. Good morning, and very stoked to see some doginal dogs in the space with us.
Absolutely.
So yeah, what's new? We've had some volatility the last 24 hours, a little bit. Well, I've seen some volatility.
Yes, there's. I was warning about this morning that closing of that CME gap on Bitcoin, right? That one sat on 118.3 and a little bit lower. We're trying to hold this value area, which we still are. So it's still great. Hold on a minute. Somebody's asking me something.
Dang, 117 today on the biddy chart.
Yes.
117.9. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that value area of one, let me just zoom in a little so I can give you some numbers here. So the value area of 117 and a half till 118.5. That's definitely an area with a lot of volume. So it likes to hover there. Of course, we squeezed out a bunch of shorts that were sitting just above 119, right? Where they got squeezed out, and then of course the ones that did short just a little bit here for like a 1% gain is not going to be much. We see the dominance hiking up, especially Ethereum is dealing with that, right? It's dealing with that hard resistance. I kind of warned
Yeah.
everybody for that as
Well,
well.
I just saw that
Yeah.
it was 2.1 billion. Is the volume on Ethereum has surpassed Bitcoin today? The
Yes,
volume today,
but
yeah.
a volume is always selling and buying. So,
Yeah.
so we see that there is a ton of sell pressure coming from that overarching trend line. So if you look on a weekly on Ethereum, you can definitely see that it's bothering Ethereum, right? And it's hovering right on that 30, the high 39, so 39.80. Right, so just before that 4K, and so a lot of people got trapped in the previous cycles, the previous cycle in that wave, and that is exactly what's giving out that pressure, right? People, their portfolio is back up, they're breaking even, and they might looking to exit the trade, and so and then of course people who are trading are going to treat that resistance, meaning they are going to put their shorts there, so or their sell orders, right? So there is like a block right there for Ethereum, but it's gonna surpass it. I'm pretty confident that it will. Let's have a look at the chart. Absolutely looks good, right? We look a little cooked on a daily. Not gonna lie, looks a little cooked. It seems like Ethereum needs a little bit more time, like another week or maybe even another couple of weeks like this, right? Because it also works now with the dominance a little bit, getting some pressure there, and we see that when the dominance is going up and Bitcoin is down, your alts are dumping, right? and this is exactly what's happening now. Except for ESX that I gave you the call for yesterday and the day before, and yesterday
Yeah.
was like the last alarm is ringing here. That thing
Right.
is gonna go. Yeah. So yes.
Yeah, I grabbed a little bit yesterday because I could see that
Yeah.
the after the reversal, now it looks like we're gonna start to rally. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, is that am I mistaken? It looks like we're like kind of like on track to start running.
Yep. Yep. So up 10% on the day, up 10% on yesterday, minus a little pullback, right? And it's people are going to trade that resistance there. I'm trading that resistance there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and I just buy back a little bit lower and just add to the bag that way. But you don't have to. Don't worry about that. If you're not a trader, don't do that,
So
right?
I'm pretty bullish on this one ever since you first
Hmm.
showed it to me. But it just I was kind of waiting for entry because I've been watching it go from 255 down to 0.09. I think it went down to just under a penny, and so now that what I saw when I saw it go back up to
Yeah,
point.
but you need to sit back. Everything at one point you got to determine this tick, or else you're going crazy watching the chart and trying to nail the Pico bottom, because
Yeah,
that's what you're trying to do. Instead of that, here's what I do. I'm looking at that token. I'm seeing 100 million for a layer one
yeah,
chain, right? That is so cheap. It's like getting Sui at 10 or 20 cents.
right.
I would have still bought Sui at 50 cents. I still would have bought Sui on a dollar. So anything that market cap, anything under 250 mil for me is a zone to buy in. And then I do not care whatever it does on the daily, right? I just keep adding and adding. And then at one point I will stop when it hits certain market cap, right?
Mm.
Just because my bag is already filled with what I want, or I'll just move on to something else or trade something. But so that is a very good way to go, and that way you don't need to look at the chart and time the Pico bottom, because I told you the Pico bottom and you didn't buy it at 0.006.
Zero
All
zero
right,
six.
so
Oh,
yeah, that's where I got in.
let me see. Yeah. Cool. Well,
That's why I told you about it. That's when I was like, well, we were there for the launch, and then I said, wait for the volatility to leave. And a few days later, we were in the space. I was like, looks like the bottom is in for that token, right? I'm getting in, and that was at 0.076. There is no universe where this thing is not doing a 10x at least.
mm,
I could see even 50x. So uh, that's not ridiculous. For that would still be a modest cap for that one. A 50x would still be a modest cap here.
mm,
So with 10x it should do on its socks with its fingers in its nose, basically. So yeah, well, Bitcoin cooling down, right? But no worries, we're still looking pretty good on the daily. That fourth hour is cooling down nicely. Funny enough, Bitcoin is not cooked at all, and so we're still in a bullish continuation, unless we lose the 117. Then it might just want to go ahead and go back to that other wick again on 114, and might even go wicked in 113, because there's a little bit of that CME cap left on different charts. You see different CME caps forming, and so this one I didn't notice before, but there is. So that would be for me 25% scenario right there, right? And But yeah, if we hold this value area, we still bullish, and then any volume coming into the upside will push us all the way to 120, and then previous all-time high. And this is going to just play out over the next 2 weeks, I think, of August or something like that, right? Meanwhile, dominance creeping up again. I think the dominance here is just going to hover, and in this zone, might run up to that 62% again, and then from there it might be a bullish reversal here for the dominance, right? So We don't know. We're just gonna play that by ear. I see the dominance of Ethereum is really, really cranking up, and that's the one that we're gonna look at because that's the one that actually gives us the alpha on whether we are cooking that alt season or not, right? So, we're looking good. I think we are creeping up on alt season. I think that's very clear. It's not here yet by any means, but we're getting closer and closer and closer. So this is absolutely not a time to be DJing around, right? I don't think I'm not going to buy any meme coin whatsoever in the next coming month. I just want to see what happens with my alts here. You need to double down on your portfolio right now and add to that because these are the first movers, right? This is not meme season. Alt season is not meme season. Alt season is very much where all the later ones and twos are in the spotlight and their ecosystem and utility will be in the spotlight. So that's their time to shine, right? And so that rollout eventually will end up pumping the memes, but first the first movers. And so if you have these first movers in your portfolio, which I hope you do, because then you get to be having this first ride and be in profit.
Hmm.
And then the rest comes after, and then at the end the NFTs, right? Yeah, yeah. That's how it goes down. It's not that black and white. Sure, it overlaps. There are some blue chip memes that are gonna pump along. Pepe, all the big ones that they will make moves with the market like this. But your lower caps might suffer just a little bit more. So if you hold positions there, don't worry about it. It will all pull up when we pull up, right? When it's time. When it the pan just overcooks like that, overspills. So hype looking very good on the daily, but it's struggling. It's struggling with that 50, right? So it wants to get there, but every time it gets rejected, there too. It's just because the market's not ready. Market's not ready. These bears can still win. They can still sit there, suppress price. But then at one point, what will happen is they get priced out and left behind, and then everyone that had patience and playing the long game will win, right? That is just what's going to happen. It just takes a little time
Mm.
before we get there. So I'm bullish, even though the market is looking a little bit red. That's because of, like I said, the pressure is back on, dominance is hiking up, and so when Bitcoin is red, you're also red. Very simple.
SPX looks uh, outstanding today. Another day with SPX in the green. SPX now sitting above. It's such a beast of a chart. SPX. I was just looking at that. Where is this one right here? I wanted to see where the chart's at again. 216 today for SPX. That's outstanding. That's insane.
Yeah,
I'm
but highly volatile and very risky, right? So
SPX.
well, I think so. It's volatile, therefore risky, right?
Mm,
So volatile because it takes these big, big moves. And you see that on the hype chart as well, right? The hyper chart, same thing happening, right? It's so, so emotional. Boom, 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 right? Even
so
Sui today has a little bit of that, right? A little bit of the freaking non believers. I don't think a lot of people know where we are in the market. It seems to me uh, like, if you do just a little bit of research in crypto, we know where we are right now in the market and still you dare sell. That's ballsy, right? Because you might be the last one to sell. These shakeouts, they happen for a reason, and a lot of people are just going to miss the train. That is just what's going to happen. On the flip side, right? If you see a dip on your favorite coin and you have some gunpowder, then go ahead, right? Double down here. Yeah, definitely. They all look so good to go for the coming week. It's not even funny anymore, even though it looks really red here, you guys. There's a lot of daily golden crosses going on for many alts, right? So um, you just want to go ahead and enjoy the ride later this week, right? If Bitcoin can hold its pants up, because the dominance is still way too high for any alts here to escape in such a way that they can rally hard, right?
mm,
So some Sui tried to escape, right, and got now tossed back in line here, like get back in line, and the rest is just hanging on, just behind Bitcoin like always. So
Mm.
there's no one escaping here, right?
Did
There's
you
no one
grab?
escaping
Did
on
you
this.
grab any DMC, the DeLorean?
I did not yet. Nope.
What? Oh my gosh, that's crazy to me.
No,
Cool.
I
Yeah,
did
that
not.
one's up on the daily.
Well,
That
look,
one
here's
looks.
the thing.
Mhm.
I have rules, and my layer ones are right now having. When I see all season is on the horizon, anything that I have extra is going towards those.
Nice.
The pullbacks on these other tokens, they will come. I have patience. I'm not FOMOing. Because my layer ones are going to make me the most money because these are my biggest bag, and they will do 5x, 10x, 15x,
Yeah. When
and
you look at
that will already
the
all
DMC
of
chart, it
that,
doesn't look like.
all of that will already just three-quarters of my portfolio doing a 10x more, and I already reached my goal.
Mm,
They make me a millionaire.
there we
So
go.
I don't need these other ones. I think they're fun, right? But I do not need to FOMO any position. If that thing moves 50 million more in market cap, I'm still good to get in,
Mm,
right? Especially in all season. So I'm not, don't worry about things. You got to relax in crypto, right?
mm.
Relax your butt. Play the ones that are for sure ponies because they are gonna give you for sure money.
Yeah. Yeah. The price point on that DMC was just too juicy for me. I had too much FOMO.
Now I
13.
want to get that DeLorean,
Mm-hmm.
but I gotta wait to get out of positions first now,
Yeah. I
or else
wonder
I'm
how.
holding too much, right?
Yeah.
I cannot. I'm consolidating my portfolio, not extending it,
Yeah,
right?
I only hold like six things. I don't have a lot of
Yeah. So
diversification.
you have room, right? I today I
Yeah.
am managed to get down to 42.
Wow.
And that is utility. That's not even meme tokens. There's like another 60 meme tokens
Yeah,
in
I've
there
got like
somewhere.
four things on Sui. I've got like four things on Solana, and that's like it. So maybe like yeah, like between 6 to 8 things. I don't have a lot to focus on.
Yeah.
And Sui is just like my as crazy as it is. That's like once I started my DCA on Sui, as crazy as that is, I was looking for that stability or that like security of I have the confidence that I can
Yeah.
use Sui like I would basically a savings account. And this
Yep.
isn't financial advice. I'm not saying that people should do what I'm doing. I'm just saying that
Uh,
I'm so confident in Sui that I'd rather put my money in Sui than a savings account. And so I started a DCA strategy a couple months ago, and days like yesterday, I couldn't be happier. I was just like, man, the only thing, I actually went and bought more yesterday at the top
All
anyway
right. So
because,
here's the
yeah,
thing, right? When I started buying again, right after
mm-hmm,
the last bull run, that was 3.5 years ago. 3 years ago, I started buying. I waited half a year for the initial drops, right, and then slowly start the DCA back in.
mm-hmm,
And look, this is the thing. You don't know where this goes.
right,
You don't know.
uh huh,
So it's imperative that you build conviction in what you hold.
mm-hmm,
And you cannot have conviction when somebody is just out there telling you what to buy.
yeah,
Because if these things go down for 20%, you're thinking like, hey, the fucking guy, what is this?
right, right, right,
And you're gonna rotate out because you do not know what you're holding,
right.
right? So someone DM me about Estate X, and it's like, hey, when the price was down, he's like, hey, I saw a post about you, I got in. Is this gonna do something? I'm like, dude, this is not a meme token.
Yeah,
This is right. This is
that's
something
weird.
else, and he didn't even know,
Yeah,
right?
it's
And I was like, you need to do some research and then research what layer ones do price wise.
you could just might
Even
as
the
well
bad
just
ones,
go flush your
even the
money down
bad
the
ones.
toilet if you're just throwing your money at things that you have no
Well,
idea what they
this is
are. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, that comes from the thing that you want to make quick money. Now
Yeah.
you can make quick money. It's one cycle of 4 years to retirement. Is
Mm-hmm.
that not quick money enough?
Right. Yep. Yeah, no one,
Is
no
that
other.
does it need to be tomorrow and then have the risk of losing it all? Or are you playing the long game and actually succeed?
Mm-hmm.
I would rather play the long game and be at least 80 to 85% sure that I succeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, wait, you know what? But you need to do the research yourself.
Yeah.
I can tell you and give you all my arguments, but you need to go like, oh, I heard Wild or Take or whoever say something. Sounds legit. I'm gonna check and look if this is something for in my portfolio.
Yeah, yeah. I actually had somebody asking me because I've been posting some contract addresses the last couple days, which I usually don't do that, but when the market's like on fire, I'm kind of just like whatever. Any contract address I post is usually one that I'm pretty confident in. But let's see which one. So I had told him, yeah, I sent him over the backpack one, but yeah, it's kind of tricky, when somebody's asking, do you have any fire tickers or whatever, because it's like, yeah, it's like you want to tell them like, look, like they're good to me because of the research I've done on them and now, my understanding of it. But you might not see what I see, and you know what I mean? It's a weird dynamic when because you want to shill that this project looks like great potential, but at the same time it's like I don't want to be responsible for. I didn't create this project. I have no responsibility if the project doesn't do well, but there is a chance that you could make money if you there's an opportunity there, you know. So
Sure, yeah. But I think right now we're in the market right now
mm,
is that we just, double down on your
yeah, no,
ponies and leave the
absolutely.
rest and leave the you can kind of spot that sentiment. That's why a lot of memes are down. People are
Yeah,
like, I'm gonna write this. You
that's
need to get some utility right now,
That's a
right? So
great
they're
point.
literally
Yeah.
thinking,
Consolidating and focusing it so that you can exponentialize your holdings instead of like spreading them out and getting,
yep.
less percent of each one. But the dynamic of people asking for tickers, it's kind of weird. Wouldn't you agree? Like, what what's your I don't know advice as far as that goes? Like when somebody's like, "Hey, Wild, like, what are some? You got any other fire tickers?" Like, what's your response? Are you just like, "No, don't ask me," or what's the
Oh
what's
no, I give them the
yeah?
things that I
So
think are
and
bullish,
then what's
even
the
even if I don't
disclaimer
hold
then?
them,
What's
right?
the then what do you tell them to be like? Hey, look, like do your own research or
Do
what?
your own
What's
research.
that's
I
it?
think
Okay,
they're fab. I
yeah,
have reasons for those. I also
yeah,
you will hear me a lot in the
yeah.
space giving reasons, even if I don't hold them. So I'm talking also about
Mm-hmm.
tokens that I do not hold
Mm-hmm.
because I cannot hold 50,000 tokens. I
Yeah.
love to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that's out there that's very good, but
Right.
it's just that I have no room in my portfolio for
Hmm.
them. I cannot manage,
That
right?
happens often
So
where you and I
yeah,
find
yeah,
something and you're like bullish on it and I can tell you're bullish on it, but you're like you can't overextend yourself any further that you realize that
yeah,
it actually do worse for you. It'll do more harm than good ultimately, even though it's a bullish ticker, which sometimes can
absolutely.
be the case because it's going to take away from your focus. It's basically your opportunity cost for
So let's say like this: I don't hold any core chain. I do think core chain is a very good dark horse blockchain. I think it is, right? But I do not hold it. Is it on my list? It's on my list. I watch it, right?
mm,
There are some tokens that I just not have a position in, but I do think are very, very bullish. I do not have a big holding. I have some holding, but not big in TRX. But I think it's fucking bullish. I know a lot of people are bearish on it. That's when I get bullish on it, you guys, because it kind of tells you that the bottom is in there, right? You should be bullish because they have no reason. You have no reason whatsoever to be bearish on Tron. If you come at me like, yeah, Justin, son, and it's like, all right, is that your reason? There's,
mm,
there's nothing to do with how it works and the technicalities of it, right? So you can be bearish on Ethereum because of Vitalik, but it, does ETH care,
right.
right? Yeah, you could say like, look at the guy. He never says anything. He's it's not well,
Yeah,
he's still running.
I love those
Yeah.
videos that are like, yeah, when you I can't believe I'm trusting my life savings with this man and he's like doing something just like bizarre
Mm.
like
This is a fallacy, and this is what people do with Trump too. So this is called the ad hominem.
mm,
So when you play on the person that made something or owned something, you disqualify yourself in the argument, in the discussion.
Mm.
because that's not what it's about. Nothing is about somebody's personality.
Mm.
It's called ad hominem. It's Latin.
Okay.
It's like playing on a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
As soon as somebody's just playing on a man, you're done. In any discussion. If you have like discussions on higher levels,
Uh-huh.
somebody does that, you're disqualifying yourself out of the conversation straight up.
So give me an example,
Well,
like with
let's
like
say,
Chat
let's
GPT
say,
and Sam
no,
Altman.
no, let's say you, right?
Okay.
Take and you make the art. Yeah, you have make fire art, and it's like, yeah, but Tick is talking too much in spaces.
Uh-huh.
That's an ad hominem. It has nothing to do with your product or what you put out.
Right.
They don't just like you as a person. All
Right,
right.
right,
Well,
right.
that could be. That's subjective for everybody else's, right.
Yeah.
There's no objective argument here, and so
Yeah.
it's an ad hominem. So I'm playing it on you personally. So I'm attacking your person,
Mm.
right? And then, uh, but the whole discussion is about your product. So it's another way to. It's the same as that you are talking to people, and therefore you must be the same. That's an ad hominem too.
Mm.
I could be talking to people that I do not like, but just because I'm talking to them, I'm being put in the same category as well. Same thing.
Uh,
It's just
huh.
because people don't. If you have an argument, you can make a better argument than that, right? And this is
Right.
always the let. If people don't think
Yeah.
about their arguments and why, then this is always what they come up with.
Right, right, right. Okay, yeah, I follow you. Yeah, and usually my response in a conversation like that, I'm like, I'll usually remind the person, I'm like, well, that's irrelevant. I don't really care
It's
about what that
irrelevant. Yes.
person does. It
Yeah, you
has
got to
nothing
make
to
that clear.
do with
Yes.
what we're talking about. Yeah.
Because what
So.
they're moving is the goalpost because they have
Mm.
no argument about the subject, so they're going to talk about your personality or somebody else's personality, and then trying to get the other side to defend the personality, and then you're playing the game. So don't even play in the game. They're moving
Right.
the goalpost in the conversation. It was not what we were talking about.
Mm.
I don't care if you like the person. You don't need to like somebody. I don't need to marry somebody in order to have dinner with them,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So you may not like Charles from Cardano, but Cardano is doing well. You may not like Vitalik. I mean, I think he's looks like a geek and he's never there. But ETH is doing well. I can still look at ETH as something I want to buy because of the technology,
Yeah.
whoever made it, and whatever he looks like.
It's honestly, it's not surprising that he looks like that. He just looks like a super nerd, like, you know.
Yeah. Oh, he
But
looks
yeah,
like
he does seem a little. He does seem like a character for sure. There's some things that I've heard where I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but I don't like dig too. I'm not like, you know what I mean. It's irrelevant. It has nothing to do with Ethereum really or the technology. So
no.
it's like I don't like do deep dives into like, oh, I wonder what like the life of Vitalik's like. Where's
Now
he
that's
from
that's
again?
not to
He's
say that's not to say that they cannot ruin a project.
yeah,
Not to say that they can
very
ruin a
true. Yeah,
project,
yeah.
but you cannot fault things straight up on the person. Hey, Lamb is on stage with us.
Yes.
Good morning for Lamb. It's good morning now for you. Good morning, Lamb.
Good evening, Wild. Good morning, Tick.
Hey,
Yeah, yeah,
what's
yeah,
up?
yeah,
Good to
yeah.
How
see
you
you.
guys doing?
Doing great.
Yeah, thanks for pulling me up. It's good to be here.
Yes,
I
yes.
am enjoying some sunny weather and some
Mm-hmm.
steak for breakfast. Well,
Hell
I already
yeah.
had some
Steak for
eggs, but
breakfast.
now we're having some steak.
That's awesome.
It's just leftovers, you know. We gotta eat it. And
Well, like
yeah,
like it's a punishment, huh?
I've already
Yeah.
I've already added to some sui bags, some sei bags, some XRP bags.
Oh man.
Ooh, is it time to buy Sei? I've been,
I
I've
mean
been.
everything's getting a last little
Is it still
Yeah.
good
at
price
30?
here.
Is it at 34 cents today then? Oh, it is 34.7.
Oh,
Is
this
it
Oh,
30?
actually.
Is it
or
33? A little
32.
big.
Oh, it's at 32. Okay, sorry. I was looking at the
There you
Google
go.
thing was I needed an update. Yeah, 32.7.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, yeah, lame. I had bought at 18 cents
Uh-uh.
and
Oh,
then
that's
when
awesome.
and then I sold at 30. I was like, okay, cool.
Nice.
And then and then
Oh man.
and so, but I mean, that wasn't the worst thing in the world. I would have just been standing still. So it's cool. I just
Look,
but
I'm getting ahead with Tick. I feel, but
yeah.
sometimes stuff like that is like I'm seriously concerned about your rehabilitation, in crypto here.
Oh,
And
because I
and
sold at
yeah,
30? Yeah, no,
you
I'm
don't
glad I
look
sold.
look. Okay, so when you sit back and look at SAE,
Yeah.
that thing is a 20x.
Oh, from here? From
That's a
32
20.
cents?
That's a 20x cook.
Mm-hmm.
This is such a dark horse. If you, that's why I say do your research and kind of sit back. But it's going to be a reserve token for a lot of states.
Mm.
You should be doing a little bit more research on CE. I guess it's kind of taking a little bit of the shadow from it's in the shadows because of SUI. But
Well, yeah.
I kind of like that overall because then you get to buy a dip price lower for a lot longer, right? So I'm
Yeah.
just sitting back, but just sit back and also here a market cap on a blockchain that is the easiest 5 to 10x,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So these are dark horses that you really just want to hold a position in
You don't think it's going to pull
for when
back
alt
and move
season.
sideways? There's
No,
no chance of
no,
it doing that?
no chance. No,
Huh.
that 18 cents was really the floor. Look at the market cap on that 18 cents. That was really severely undervalued. So here's what happened in the market, right? Alts, these alts, they didn't get any relief from November on. So they pumped in November, got a little relief of the market, and they were already undervalued there. And they just suffered through and bleeded out so hard that everything in May, end of May, that was really the blood. At one point, I was even looking at it like how low, how long can these all suffer here?
Mm.
Because they were really suffering. Any each one of them, XRP, Solana, all of them, undervalued constantly, taking a beating of that dominance, right? And not
Mm.
getting any relief. The only relief we got was Ethereum. And we see the same thing happening now, kind of. That's because the dominance is pulling up and the dominance of Ethereum is dropped just a tiny, tiny ass bit, right? And that's because people are trading Ethereum. They know the trend line of Ethereum. They're taking profits and they're putting it slowly back into Bitcoin. So there's a one and two game between that Bitcoin and Ethereum, between one and two in crypto. And of course, there's that outflow of Ethereum going somewhere else too for a part, but for a big part, it also is going back into Bitcoin. And that's what puts that extra pressure as like a boa constrictor for all these alternative tokens. And so that's why I think like stuff like Monad is going to do well as well, right? Because all these EVM, these virtual machine layers, these blockchains are going to all do very, very well.
Mm.
Sonic is one too. Sonic is why I've been talking about Sonic for a little bit too. Now they got off the wrong start with the because they called it Phantom, and so they had to deal with the Phantom wallet, right? And so they had Phantom with an F, so it was spelled differently, but still. So they do the rebranding to Sonic, and then $S. So they did a complete rebrand there. Also, Dark Horse. They got a little setback, but it doesn't mean their technology won't stick.
Where are you holding your say E? You can't buy and hold it with Phantom, can you?
I don't think so. I'm holding CE on, and I bought it on an exchange because I get it often cheaper there.
Yes, I'm here.
So Coinbase.
Yeah, I just bought it on Coinbase.
Yeah, that's where I had originally bought it was
No, I
Coinbase.
didn't get it on
So you
Coinbase.
can't buy it on Phantom then. Um, huh. Let me see. Yeah, I hate using Coinbase for anything. It's the worst. But yeah, say E. Let's see. You have perps on there, and then you have wrapped say E. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Uh, I don't know if I want to
Look,
buy
if
back
you're
in or
not
not.
bullish on it, you're not bullish on
Yeah,
it.
I'm
I'm just
not.
telling you, do your research so you at least know what you're ignoring.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have stuff that I think is very, very bullish. I just don't have room in my portfolio for. But if you still need to fill in your portfolio, then I'm going to talk about those, right?
Mm.
So if you don't know what it is, um, then and you ignore it, then I think it's still not smart. You should know what you're fading at, right?
Yeah, it's a good point. I think it'd be better for me just to keep focusing on Sui than to throw another um, thing into the mix at this point. When I
Yeah.
originally bought the Sei too, you told me it was a bad buy. You said it was like a bad like you're like, oh yeah, it's not gonna pump, and then it 2x'd, and then so I was like,
What?
well, I might as well get out from under it.
Well, no, I could have never said that about Said.
Well, you said that it was bad timing that I had got it like too early or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but you made me
Well,
question the buy because I was like, oh, I
well,
bought
if
some
I'm
Sei
talking
last
about
night.
if I'm talking about don't buy, don't trade it,
Mm.
then I mean the
Yeah, you were saying
trading.
it was
I do not mean
like
the
it wasn't a good one to
DCA.
trade. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do a future on it, there's definitely a time to do your future on it, and time to absolutely not do a trade on it like that, right? Because
Mm.
a future trade is very different, very much a different game than just a DCA and huddle on. Very much different. You would have been, if you put in a short, you would have been wrecked. Your money would be gone.
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't
But
going.
leverage,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but future trading like that is very different. You're taking trades that do not stay open for very long, unless you really get the bottom and you're going long like I could on Sui, because that long is still open. I'm going to leave that
Well, I
open
could have
for the next
at
month.
18 cents. I could have.
You could have had 18 cents, but that wasn't at 18 cents, so there was still a pullback. If you would look, if you
Mm.
let's say, I'm going to pull up the chart right now and show that to you, what I mean with that. Um, let's say here you got 18 cents, and then still it went down to 16 cents, and you put in a long, you would have been liquidated.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't know anything about Sei. I know that they have a cool looking website and that they do what parallel
All
scaling
right,
EVM, but
yep. So
but
it's a high the transactional finality is the same as SUI. So they're just as fast with the finality as SUI, also 400 milliseconds. So it's the fastest. It's also the fastest one EVM compatible, right? Even though their TPS is nothing like SUI, right?
oh, what
Not
do you
even
mean?
close.
It's a lot
They're
slower.
well the trans what?
How is it different?
Well, you have the finality. So how much time it takes, and that's for 100 milliseconds,
Mm.
and then the amount that you can do in that time, which is your TPS. So
And with
Sui
Sei, it's
finalizes things in 4 seconds, and can do at 2 200,097 or something like that, or even more. I don't know, something around that ballpark, like ridiculous. That's why today it outperformed XRP in transactions, because
wow.
it can take a lot in one go, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it has that. So CE has a turbo twin consensus, and it's from the that comes from it's an evolution of Cosmos consensus, and it reduces that validator time. Like in a nutshell, that reduces the validator time. It's that they can also parallel scale just like Sui, and Monad is going to be one more. And all these new chains, they are going to have that parallel scaling. All the chains that are going to go into the future that are relevant are going to have that parallel scaling. That's just something new. And even XRP with XRPL is going to move in that direction, right? So wait, if you're holding blockchains that are going to patch that with parallel scaling, bullish. If not, we might want to question them later on.
Okay, so you said it outperformed XRP.
No,
As
that's
Sei
Sui.
did.
Sui did that today, because Sui
Oh,
has hands down right now the most TPS, right? So 200,097, like ridiculous.
so when you say outperformed XRP, you mean that it
Yes.
didn't pull back as much?
No, no, on the
The
TPS
volume.
it outperformed.
Oh,
No, on the
oh,
TPS.
oh,
So
oh.
on the transactions it outperformed XRP
I see, I see.
today. All right, so back to CE. So
Yeah, I
so
just put. I'm gonna
institutional
start a
finance. So
DCA on
so
say.
so uh, it has that Ondo Finance USDY, right? Tokenization U.S. Treasury bills,
Mm,
right? That is what CE got. It also has Circles USDC and Chainlink CCIP. Very much bullish, right?
mm. Yeah, I'm gonna start a
So
DCA on say now that you just kind of like flipped my whole uh
you need to
mentality
read.
on
I
it.
want you to go ahead and read for it yourself, Dick. Read for it
Yeah, just
yourself.
I mean, even
I
looking at
know,
the chart
I know.
though.
Wisconsin,
Yeah,
Wisconsin is going to use CE as their reserve,
yeah,
so it's gonna be a thing here, right?
yeah,
There's a lot for it. I'm just gonna have you discover the rest because you need to
yeah.
discover it this yourself.
It
Yes.
looks like it might even pull back a little bit more, but probably not much, right? Maybe like to
Uh,
28 cents, if that.
mm-mm. It,
If
I
it if
don't
it
I
does
don't see
pull
it.
back, it doesn't. I don't think it's going to pull back very far because of
30 cents would absolutely, like 31 cents would
yeah,
be a
yeah.
floor
So
here.
so I
It's
think that
also
we're
too close. It's moving too close sideways to the trend line because it
yeah,
wants to take the trend line. Also undervalued still
right.
in DCA zone for me here,
Yeah,
right? Still
that's why
bullish.
originally I had bought it because it was so cheap that I was like, okay, what do I got to lose? And then it ended up doubling, and so I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. And then yeah, I'm glad I sold when I did. It wasn't a big bag or anything. I think it was like $100 or something, um, but now I'm like, okay, I can pick up where I left off. I feel like I can just like re-enter and then start a DCA. I don't think it's gonna. It'll cost me a little bit, but I think that in the long run, it's gonna be a negligible
So
difference.
usually, if you look at the last bull run, like 10 billion, uh, 10 billion, 15 billion, 20 billion, that ballpark for blockchains are very much doable, right?
Hmm.
So anything that sits under 3 billion market cap is still, in my eyes, very good to go. Yeah.
What about building on Sei? I'm sorry if we already
Yes,
touched on,
EVM compatible. So that's the
but
thing that CE has, and this is the only bearish argument for SUI.
well, the ecosystem though, is it big like Monad? That's funny. Is it big like Monad? But
Big
like,
amount of
is it like
EVM.
Monad is like freaking? It's
It's
in
a
your.
little bit, I know, it's a little less big than
Uh,
Monad.
uh,
It shares some of the venture capital, but here's the thing. The I'm gonna give you my my bearish arguments for all of them. Let's do that, right? Because we can point out things that are very much bullish about things all the time.
yeah.
But now look at what really stands out. So SUI, number one bearish argument against SUI is that it's not EVM compatible. So no virtual machine. That means that it does not jive with Ethereum. It has its own code. So you got to teach all the builders. And you see that's why the whole DeFi on SUI took a lot longer than on other chains, is because you got to raise a whole new army of builders that are using SUI Move as a coding language. And that's the bearish argument for SUI. On the flip side, I think it has too much bullish, and so it negates that. But that's the bearish argument for SUI. So
Mm,
EVM compatible is means that Solidity is the coding that 90% of the people that build in crypto are using Solidity as a code language. So everybody knows this, and that's why you see on Monad and on these other EVM compatible blockchains, you see a lot of that DeFi already being there initially, because everybody and his mother knows how to code in Solidity. So all the builders, right? So you don't need to raise an army of builders at all. You don't need to even spend money on that. It's all there already. And there's stuff that has been built already. So it's like you have a city and the logistics are all in place, right? The roads are built, the parking lots are there, right?
mm-hmm.
And so for Sui, that's a little bit more of a challenge. The what I think the bearish argument for Monad when it launches is the timing that it launches. So over time, it might look to outperform something like CE because it has a higher TPS. But CE has been building for 2 years already. They got these things like getting into treasuries and that kind of stuff. They got that covered,
Mm.
right? And there is no way, shape, or form that Monad is getting, let's say, a ETF right from the gate. No.
Right.
It's going to be a new chain, and it has to prove itself still. Doesn't mean I'm not bullish on it because it's very, very promising, right?
Yeah, yeah. I was telling you about how on like Bankless, the podcast I listen to, that
Yeah.
I've heard them mention it alongside, ETH and Solana and stuff. They're like, they mention it like it's just another chain, even though it hasn't gone main yet, which is kind of interesting. Like they don't talk about it a whole lot, but I've heard them that mention it when they'll be listing chains and like, well, yeah, like Solana or Monad, and in my head I'm like, well, that's crazy that they're like already talking about it like it's something that we're using. It's bizarre, but
Yeah.
they're talking about the future, like down the road when you're using, I can't remember the example, but I've heard them name drop it a couple times, which it's like, oh, it's like, oh, I know them. I know the Monad thing. I know what they're talking about. You know what I mean?
Yeah. CE did get proposed for the ETFs,
ETF.
right? Yeah. That happened in April. I think that happened in April. Yeah, must have been April or beginning of May, somewhere there. That began for CE, and so yes, I think in the for the long haul, it's got to look. When CE was launched, it kind of was in the shadow of SUI, and Sui kind of stole the show. And so, because of the name too, Sei and Sui, right, and then launched 3 months from each other, it was very much people thought they were the same, kind of the same thing or competition, which they are not. They're apples and oranges completely,
Yeah.
right? And they're not even in the same, looking for the same industries at all. So there's that. However, if we look at something, these new things like Monad coming out, then the bearish argument for CE would be how long can they stay relevant, and in what area of the market are they doing it in, right?
Mm.
So let's take, I always take Injective because that's such a financial blockchain, right? They cater to only the financial DeFi. So they may not have the TPS of SUI or SEI, but they established relationships and utility with financial institutions. And these financial institutions really like things that are a little bit older, right? Because and more secure. So they look for those things. And so they have that like locked in already. And maybe over time they're gonna address some things with the speed, right? CE still needs that, really be clear about what area they are in. And if it's not the same area as Monad, then they're still relevant as a blockchain. It's just that that's something you need to watch over time. But I guess you need to watch every chain like that, right?
Mm.
So yeah, do your own research. Monad's still in testnet. There is some in the pipeline of a Monad being main on the end of September. The 29th of September has
Oh
been
wow.
mentioned. Like, it was kind of like an Easter egg from that Keone Han. He's a that Keone guy. He's from Quant, right? He's the general
Mm.
manager of Monad, and he's from Quant. So, and they got like an awful. I expect a lot from Monad actually. I'm expecting a lot, and I think I just think that they are launching a little bit late in the cycle. So
Yeah.
usually, what happens is that these blockchains are just launched in the bear market, so they have time to build. Right, they have time to do to build community around it too. They have time to, of course, they have connections in the industries that they want to be in, but foster those and grow those, and go to events and be there and hold events and that kind of stuff, and that is all in the lead up towards what we're expecting in the next 6 months to happen. And so can Monad kind of falls in that, right? Out of nowhere. And it's going to be busy with the trading. And so we know when the chart is pumping, everybody's kind of enjoying green candles, and it's not per se working, grinding like we do in the bear, right? Where we don't watch the chart, which is DCA,
Mm.
and go out and build if you're a builder, right?
Mm.
I mean, we know it too. When we do testnet on Monad, and the market is green. Suddenly we don't do because we were bored in the bear market. It's like, oh yeah, let me just do 20 transactions on the testnet here and go, right?
Mm,
But because it's busy with trading right now, you kind of forget to do all that too, right? So yeah, that's kind of we do the same. We do the same. So yeah, there's that. Just need to look at see such a dark horse
yeah, I
when it
think
comes
that
to crypto.
it wouldn't hurt to start a DCA since it's so cheap that for the long haul. Because a few years from now, I don't think it's gonna be 33 cents.
Yeah.
Still, I don't think it's gonna stay. I think it's
So
gonna
so
be a
here's the thing,
lot higher
right?
than that.
Somebody
Yeah.
would tell me because I had this discussion before, like a couple of days ago, with someone when we just he was like, yeah, but you just told me about ESX and it has then better upside potential, no? And I was like, yes, but also riskier. And so this is what you have to manage with your portfolio. You cannot just stare yourself blind of like, all right, this is great, this is a blockchain um, under a certain cap, and even if they perform bad, it's still a good 5 to 10x here, right? But you got it's still risky because they do have to prove themselves. This all looks very good, and I think for 80% that they are gonna do things very successfully, but they still got to
Yeah.
prove themselves. This is a new layer one, right?
Yeah.
So there is risk, so it's not always stare yourself blind at upside potential. You need to de-risk your portfolio by also holding something that moves a little slower, and the upside there might just be 2 or 3x, but it's a solid 2 or 3x, and the chart is not that volatile,
Mm,
right? At least, I mean, all of crypto is freaking volatile, but there's definitely things like Ethereum. When Ethereum does 4%, 5% down, it's like, oh my God, end of the world. While something like Sui can do easily -10 on a day, and that's because it's a low cap. The lower the market cap, the more volatile it is. So that's why you need to de-risk your portfolio, and you cannot just say like, "Oh man, I have monstrous upside potential. This is going to be my ride." Well, you can do a little bit more maybe than you would put in another token, and then you're already being very very risky, right? So usually the risky things have the lower amount of your bags in them because they're risky. So you need to de-risk yourself like that.
uh,
To be like, but at this point in the market. Um, Well, is of course not financial advice, but we're coming up really close. I see that alt season, whether it's alt season or a relief rally, right? Whatever we're gonna face uppies. And so, if you haven't built a portfolio, you just might want to DCA a lot faster than you would, right? It's still undervalued. A lot of stuff is still undervalued by a lot, and things will start to rip pretty quickly when they do, right? And so maybe you want to just speed up. Normally I would DCA every week, but maybe now just daily. And I do mean daily because look, the one day is up five, the other day is down five. So you just want to do that daily so you balance yourself out, right?
or twice
That
daily.
way, twice a day.
Yeah, you could. I mean,
I
sometimes.
do Bitcoin on the daily because I'm just making it a sport. It's like, oh yes, it's time to buy a little bit more Bitcoin.
Yeah. Speaking of Bitcoin, you saw Mr. G's
Oh, Mr.
in
G
here
is in
with
the house.
us.
I haven't
Mister
looked at the
Mr.
thing.
G,
I'm just
you wanna come up here
vibing out.
and give us some alpha?
I'm invited. I invited him if he has time or not. I
And
appreciate his presence anyway.
yes, and welcome and thank you to everyone that's in here with us. Um,
Yeah,
we have a lot of familiar faces joining us today,
absolutely.
so I just wanted to say thank you guys for joining us. And if anyone wants to join us with any alpha, come up on stage and shill
Yeah,
your heart out, shill your butt off.
absolutely. Chill your little butt off.
Yes,
Just remember to also grab always in your portfolio Bitcoin. All roads lead to Bitcoin, you guys.
yes,
You need some
yes.
Bitcoin. And I don't
Nice.
even care how low the amount is. 10 years from now, everybody wants what you have, whether that be much or less, right? So, and you can use that need for Bitcoin as leverage, as down payments on a house, as collateral for loans, right? Or whatever is going to happen in the future. We don't know exactly what
Mm-hmm.
it's going to look like, but you have a power position owning Bitcoin. And I don't even care how much Bitcoin. I guess there will be measured it all, and it's a zero point 0.1 Bitcoin. If you can get there, you're already doing great.
Wow.
You're already doing better than you're front running 97% of the people who do not.
Yeah. What
So
is that? 10
even
grand, right?
uh, yeah, a little bit more right
Oh
now,
yeah, yeah.
but you're
The
not doing
11
it for
grand.
the upside. Here's the thing, right? So will Bitcoin do more in the future? Sure, sure. And people will say, I'm not buying any Bitcoin because I can only 2x my money and I gotta wait 4 years for it. And I'm just like, yes, that's true, but it's also true that there's not enough Bitcoin. So you just owning Bitcoin puts you in a financial power position, and you can use that as leverage. And that might be even more important than your upside potential on Bitcoin. See,
Mm.
because there is not enough Bitcoin. All right, let's say hello to some people.
Yeah, I did have a request from Luna Jack as well.
Yeah, but that didn't pan out.
Oh.
But we got Mr. King Crab on Suey meme right there. But all the Suey memes somehow end up building shit. That's what happens on Suey. Good morning, King Crab.
Good morning. Yeah, I'm not building shit. I'm trying to build a brand.
There
Yeah,
we
But
so
yeah,
go.
what?
yes, Wild, you are correct. There are a lot after the Cetus hack. Then you had this. What was it? 30 Sui to 1,000x challenge. People making rugs just to make that challenge. Yeah, you're right. Uh, I love calling myself the 1% of the people that survived the Cetus hack and still here. We're constantly building and everything. And, even you're talking about Bitcoin and getting Bitcoin. A lot of us like to play the games on our phones. I found an app where they'll show you games that you can play. And if you get a certain rank or whatever, you can win or get rewards in like Sats or Satcoin or whatever it is, and you can turn it into Bitcoin on your Cash App. So I've got $7 worth of Bitcoin
There
in
you
my
go.
Cash App.
There
Yeah,
you
so
go.
you're
There's a
going to play the
few.
games
Yeah.
regardless. You might as well make some money doing it. And crypto,
Absolutely.
I mean, hell,
Yeah,
it's easy.
that's cool. Yeah, I've seen stuff like that. I have a couple apps. I used to play around with those that you can stack satoshis, yeah, for free just by participating and stuff. There's a few of them. What is it? XYO has one called Coin App that's actually kind of bullish. But which one is it that you're talking about? I'm just curious.
The one I've got is ZBD.
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I do have ZBD. Yeah, so you can use
Yes.
that with Bitcoin Miner, I believe, and
Yep.
some other games too. But ZBD is a pretty cool network. Um, yeah, and like you said, if you're into gaming and mobile device gaming and stuff like that, it's like you can profit from it by participating in these Web3 games. They're kind of cool. I think that whole platform is very bullish. It's not going to like retire your bloodline, but
No.
it's a way that you can actually make some change off of your your what's that time your time that you're playing around, playing your games,
Yeah.
make some money. So, yeah, that's funny though. That's cool. And
Yeah. Go
yeah,
ahead.
no, I was gonna ask. So, what else did you want to tell us about?
Well, we're constantly growing. I know Arena is more of Avalanche, but I've bridged over to, I shouldn't say bridge the coin, but I got on Arena and started making a profile page there to gain some more eyes.
Huh?
Um, we're not gonna launch on Avalanche, but any way we can gain eyes. Um, we've got our TikTok that we've
that I've set up, and we're gaining eyes from there. Plus, using it to sell our merch store. So, we've got the Ghostbuster King Crab. We've got, I got to put down or put on there. We've got Batman King Crab. So we're constantly growing for the younger generations and the older generations. Uh, all our sales go to reinvesting into the coin, and plus, for the adults, with the QR code on the back of the shirt, um, they're walking billboards for our coin. So the QR code goes to our socials, and hopefully it brings some more people to us, and might bring in the normies. And even if they're not into crypto, they can buy a shirt for their kid or themselves, and you know we can grow either way.
That's cool.
Bullish.
Yes, very bullish. Um,
We
yeah, go
just
ahead.
got an invite. We just got an invite from. You need to look at your tag because Mr. G invited us to become Genius Room affiliates of 25. So we got to.
Yeah, I'm curious. What is that? I responded to the text. Okay, here we go. Genius. Okay, I see it. Cool. Yes.
Bring it in. I'm filling it in. Let's get that done straight away because I'm gonna forget it otherwise. All right, let's do like this. All right. Sui intern is asking what are my picks for the bull run. Basically, well, it's a lot. It's a lot, you guys. It's a lot. So basically, if I pull up my portfolio here, we have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum, Caspa. I got Sui, I got CKB, I got Tao, Bitensor, I got Solana, I got XRP, I got Injective, I got some Jasmy, I got some Naka, I got a little bit of TRX, not too much. I'm closing my position, even though I'm fully bullish on it, but it's just a lot. And I'm just gonna name the blockchains, right? I'm also very much bullish on AVAX, but not holding it, right? And then there is a ton of XLM. I got XLMs in here too. And these are just the chains and related to chains, right? So that's just the layer ones, and I got a bunch of utility that's in that in that. So I got Jupiter, right? I got Deep. I got Wallace. These are all of the Sui ecosystem. Basically, I got Navi. I even got some tugboat. I don't know what's doing in there. And then and my memes. I still hold Pepe. Pepe is still well in there, right? But it's not a big positions. These the first ones that I mentioned all have my bigger holdings. I'm going from big to small when I mention them. So, Bitcoin, and of course I have Tether, right? You got to have Tether because you got to have gunpowder. You got to stay liquid, you guys. If opportunity arrives, right, you at least have some gunpowder and something is safely tether. So these stable coins are going to be something else too. And that's why you also want to have some TON. Yes, I'm holding some TON, TON, right? Do your research on what it does. So yeah, these are my biggest holdings. Just a little part of my portfolio. There's just much more, but then maybe res. I got res. I got to explain them all because those are a little bit more particular, right, to things. So I don't mention them a lot. And funny enough, I don't mention my biggest holdings enough either, right? I used to rarely see me post about XRP. I mean, I've TA'd XRP to death. So I have my price targets there, and when it's time, it's time, right?
Yeah, bull posting XRP is kind of cringe. I feel like it's just I don't know. I don't know why
Well,
I cringe when I see XRP bull posting.
yeah, yeah.
It's I don't know.
But look, I like bull posting though. Show me what you're bullish on, right?
Hmm.
Show me. And then sometimes you'll find some gems in there too, because some people do look right and they got the right thing. And I love it when they bull post about later ones because they see a lot of bull posting about memes, and I'm like, yeah, that's all fun, sure, but you kind of want to see and see the vibes of the different chains. That's
Mm,
what I like about the communities on these different chains, and
yeah.
I need to hook up some more in some Cardano spaces and some TRX spaces because they Tron spaces because they are such a nice community and really heartless over there. So they really understand DCA, and the Cardano is like the worst of all with that, right?
Yeah, that's the thing about XRP that people like really love, right? Is that the community is like so strong and like
So kumbaya. It's so
yeah,
kumbaya,
it,
so
it oh,
wholesome.
is it? They're really like they bro out over there. Oh, at the
Yeah.
XRP
Well,
army. I know the XRP
XR.
army is like they identify as like,
Yes.
legion
Yes.
essentially.
Yes. Well, look, this is so psychology is so powerful
It's
here
good. Yeah, that's
because you
bullish.
bond people when you are in the blood together, you DCA, you keep believing and then you get
Hmm.
rewarded. It's like you feel like you did it together. You
Yeah.
didn't do shit, right? You just
Right.
DCA'd. But
That's such a
but
funny
but
point.
but
Yeah.
yes, you just vibe together so
Yeah.
strongly because of your oh and we made
You
it,
survived
right?
the
It's like
war
you went to
together.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like we made it, right?
That's so
And
true.
just what Becker said, what Alex Becker said about Cardano, this is going to be true. These guys are going to be in your face when Ada is flying, right? Because they have waited for that moment for years, and they
Yeah.
will be obnoxious, right, about it. And
Jeez.
I'm going to be obnoxious about Sui because
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like I deserve to be. I've been
Oh, I'm gonna
all
cry
these
for sure. I'm gonna
all
be.
these influencers, right? All these influencers. I was in their spaces telling about Sui at 50 cents. I was like, this is going to be big as soon as some tokens land on there. You guys want a Degen on there? Because I know you're Degen, so that's what you like. But just wait for utility to hit there harder and for meme coins to get on there. And then, I was telling them about it and they kept fading and fading and fading until Hippo happened. And after Hippo happened, I was in the space and they were like, oh, yeah, tell me more about Sui. And I was like, what? I've been in your spaces for a year telling you about the Tekasui, and it just seems like they never really listened at all. Right? It's let me speak and faded everything. But and it's I have the right to be obnoxious about Sui when things are flying again. To toot my horn a little bit, like, yes, I was in the test net with Eptos Sui.
Mm-hmm.
I spotted it early. I like to spot things early. It's my deal, right? Because I love the technology. So like Monad and stuff, I really geek out on that. And of course, when I'm on my island, I might just want to run validators, right, and that kind of stuff. And you kind of need to be early for blockchains to be chosen for validators, to be a validator. That's I think where some of the most ways of passive income unbelievable, right? And these guys on Sui, these validators on Sui are freaking raking it in, man, on a daily
Damn. That's
with the
cool.
TPS rate there. Holy hell! Holy hell! So again, about passive income streams, I'm gonna be on repeat from yesterday, and I said it this morning, Crypto Moonlight, because it hit me that it kind of makes sense. So when you ask somebody, and this is like I'll run it back to crypto, but I'll loop it back. But here's the thing: when you're in real life talking to somebody, and you're asking them, "Hey, would multiple streams of passive income be beneficial to you financially? Yes or no?" What would you say, Tick?
Uh, what? That's a funny question. Yeah, I mean, would multiple streams of income benefit a person? Yeah, absolutely. That's yeah,
Yes,
that's.
and then not even what you need to work for. So passive streams of income. So you
Mm-hmm.
build it once, and then it's the goose with the golden egg keeps laying
Right.
it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So why is it so hard for people to believe that you need multiple tokens in your portfolio? That diversification is risk management. The
Mm.
same thing you would want with multiple multiple streams of income
Yeah.
in real life financially. That's how you risk manage. See, that's the essence of that. So
Mm-hmm.
if you lose your job, you still have some things that you can fall back upon to keep your pants up.
Yeah.
right? And the same goes in crypto. If you do not learn how to diversify and build a portfolio, you're going to be, if something goes wrong with the
Yeah.
one or two things you're holding, bar Bitcoin, right? Bar Bitcoin. Um, but most of the retail is holding their alts because upside potential.
Yeah.
And this is wrong to
Yeah.
begin with, right? Yeah, this is wrong to begin with. So, but okay, let's say you do, right? But one or two is too much risk.
Right. Yeah. Because if something goes south, if there's a black swan, a moment,
There you
and
go.
something gets hacked, or something happens to the
Yes.
developer or the project, or something goes haywire, then if all your eggs are in one basket, it's kind of like, yeah,
Yeah.
you're gonna get wrecked, and there's no other, and
And
especially if you, yeah,
you would say like, okay, what then? Okay, Terra Luna.
yeah, it's a great
So many
example.
people were so wrecked, right? See this hack, these things. There's a few things to mention there in that category.
Yeah.
That a lot of people were all in on one thing. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to do, right? So
Yeah,
it's
it
not
reminds me of
healthy
the
in.
AIXBT hack that happened on
Yeah,
Ethereum
yeah,
a while back, and that
that's
brought
right.
it down. If you look at the chart, AIXBT, it went
Yeah.
from at 25 cents down to at its lowest. It was down to like 8 cents. That was crazy.
But it's even worse because if you just the psychology behind it, if you're only holding on to one thing, one or two things,
Yeah.
you're gonna obsess about these one or two things.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Get laser
Yes.
eyes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Is
and
that
that
well
will wreck you too.
if you only do one job and you never get to build to be on a property ladder to have like these other streams of income or assets that which are seen as income as well, right? Over the long term. If you don't have that set up, you're gonna obsess about your job. You're probably also more likely to stay in a job that's absolutely not suited for you, but you gotta grind it out because there is nothing. So it's going to play more of a role in your private life when you're not working.
Mm,
That the obsessions will begin there, right? And it's going to rock you off center. Also, it will impact your decision making
yeah.
heavily.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
When the pressure's on. Yeah,
yeah.
because you don't have options. That's
No,
essentially, yeah,
exactly.
that's essentially what
Yes,
the money gives you. It gives you power and options. So if you don't have those, then you end up desperate, and then that's where your emotions will start making you make bad decisions.
exactly.
Yeah.
And then you always make bad decisions. I'm going to give you an example of this that happened this morning when I was in the crypto moonlight space with a Dogecoin dog NFT. So somebody
Uh huh.
was pissed off at the Dojo Dog community or whatever was going
It's
down there.
crazy.
He
Yeah,
was
I see
just,
that
I don't know,
sometimes. It's
pissed off.
weird. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then he wanted to floor his NFT, wanted to drag the floor. But he made a mistake with zeros and sold the dog for $4. And that's what happened there. Well, he was pissed off and he was reacting from
Whoa.
emotion. And when you do that, you make fucking mistakes.
Whoa.
Excuse my French.
Yeah, that's
So you're gonna sit there pissed off, trying to get revenge. So you'll be like, "Oh fuck this! I'm gonna fucking
yeah, and
floor
then
that
and
dog.
he
I'm gonna
literally just
floor that
wrecked
dog and
himself.
sit there behind your little laptop going, fuck it, I'm gonna sell it now. Fuck him over me, right? And then you just boom, and then make a mistake on somebody bought it $4. That's a 4 grand dog, and right now that dog is listed for 18,000.
Wow.
You know, so.
Gosh, that's crazy. I was just
Oh, hey,
literally
my guy.
thinking,
Yeah,
hey,
I
what's
didn't
up?
even see you on stage, man. I would have said hello.
No,
I just
no,
like,
all good, all good. I'm just listening to the conversation, and I
yeah,
just know how much interest I have in a dog. And seeing one at $4, I think
yeah,
I would have had to make that move immediately.
yeah.
So
Well,
whoever got that is
Yeah,
amazing.
you
that's
had to
crazy.
fight me for it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I'm sure there was a long line to try to get that one.
Yeah,
$4 is
exactly.
crazy.
But it's crazy, right? But that is what anger will do to you. That's what high emotional states will do to you. You want to win at life, regulate your emotional state, calm the f down, right? Nothing in the moment is as serious as it seems, and you got to take a breather, because if you're making decisions in the moment, 99% of these decisions will not pan out well for you. And we kind of know this, especially with the negative emotions. You get so angry, you want to hit somebody, but is that a good idea down the road? No, it's not. It never is, right?
Right.
So there's a whole consequence of that that you can just not oversee in a moment. And you just might want to turn around and think, right?
Yeah.
But when we actually, what happens in your brain, this is just from a psychology perspective, right? So if you're in a high emotional state, actually your logic thinking, that part of your brain is being shut down,
Mm,
right? So you're going to your primal brain will have certain responses there.
mm,
And we feel it when we are attacked, right? We feel it when we get if we even perceive to be attacked, we have it when we actually get confronted with something that can kill us, like being at great heights, or somebody running at you fast or something like that, something real like that, right? And then what happens next might shock you, right? So you get this response in your head when the voices of logic cannot reach you anymore, and that's why it's so hard when people are fighting to break them up, because they do not listen. Their brain cannot register the logic what you're saying. And you notice this, we all know this, right? When you try and tell people to calm down, they get even more angrier, right? You're just like, oh, just calm down. And then the anger will be directly towards you when you say these things. And that's what happens. So you need to get your try and get yourself from not entering that state, because it will escalate things.
mm.
And
It's
that
a
is
great time to touch some grass, I gotta say.
touch grass. Well, I didn't want to pump your back straight away, but I was getting there. It is. Touch the grass. Perfect saying for that. Let's go. Do a shill. And then King Crab has his hand up, and let's go.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, hopefully you guys are having a great start to your day or night wherever you might be. So really glad to be here as always. And we don't have a lot of updates today, but we do have one big one. So we released today the required amount of touch grass that you have to hold to be eligible for the rewards in cycle one, which is the month of August. So we released that. So super excited. We're getting closer and closer to our lock-in period. So just kind of a reminder of how our system works is we do a snapshot on the beginning of the month as well as the last day of the month. And then anybody who holds the required amount, which in this cycle, it's going to be 1,000,000 touch grass. If you hold that amount and you do not sell, do any kind of token transfers, anything with your balance, then you're going to receive a Solana airdrop on September 1st, which is the payout period for everyone who held during August. So really excited. We're getting closer and closer to that lock-in time. So we got a lot of things we're working on to make sure we're hyped up and we're prepared for that day, but super excited that we released what you have to hold to be eligible today. So I post that to the Jumbotron and super excited. So hopefully everyone touches a little bit of grass today.
Very cool. Very
Yes,
cool.
very cool. Thank you for the update on everything there. Very interesting. You guys go check it out. Do your own research there. Yeah, very much.
So,
Mr.
where's the market cap at again? Mm,
So right now we're sitting right at 61K market cap. So yeah, we've been down a little bit because of Solana doing its Solana thing, but we were all-time high of right around 100 after we got off of Pump Fund,
mm,
and then we just slowly been building our way up. So really excited. We have a really good floor. I mean, we've been at 60K and have it dipped below that in, I mean, weeks. So we have a really strong floor. I think it's really just going to be one of those things of people seeing the Solana payouts, but then we know that's going to come with it. People want to be able to see it. So we're at 60K right now.
awesome. Awesome. Yeah, and let me see. So you need 1 million touch grass to enter the loop this month, and then there's 3 days left to lock in. So you have to buy and hold, and then what is it for? The cycle ends on August, at the beginning of August, or I'm sorry, the beginning of September would
Yeah.
be the end.
So
It's like a 30-day cycle, right?
exactly. Yeah. So it's a monthly 30-day or 31-day cycle.
Mm.
And we just incentivize holding by on August or the first day of the month, we do a snapshot. On the last day of the month, we do a snapshot. And anyone who didn't sell gets the Solana airdrop for that month for not selling their tokens.
Word.
but we will release the amount that you need to hold
Right.
3 days before that month,
Yeah.
because it is dynamic. It's right now it's $1 million, but if we double our market cap, we can't keep it at $1 million because that's going to be a lot more expensive to get in. So it's a dynamic amount that we announce 3
Right.
days before the end of the month.
Yeah. Cool. And this is the first time you're doing the loop, right? Like since the
Yep.
launch, this is the first loop.
Yep. So this will be the first loop of August, and then we'll do our first payouts in Solana on September 1st. So this is our first loop lock-in period.
So when I'm on your Twitter page, I don't know if I'm just missing it, but there's no link to just like pull up. Okay, so if I go to chart buy on your pin post, it pulls up Radium, but when it pulls up Radium, I'm looking to swap Solana for Radium. It doesn't pull up the link to the touch grass. So,
okay. Yeah, I'll have to double check that and see why that is. It should definitely be token specific where it's having touchgrass pull up, but I can definitely look into that.
I can see it, the contract address, when I hover over the link, but when you click on it, it just takes you to the Radium. It's so weird. Yeah, it's not configured to the right thing. So one option would be to throw a Dex screener link, or maybe Dex tools, or even Bird Eye, but throw a link on your page so that you can access the chart from the Twitter. Because when I'm doing it, I can see like the Soul Scan links, but there's no link to actually get to the chart from your Twitter without having to like find the CA and then input it manually. For as far as I know, as I'm Gecko terminal.
No, that's good to know.
Here, if I pull on here, I found a link from July 19th. Okay, this is the type of link that I was looking for. Okay, so that link from July 19th is one to your CoinGecko. This and that's the way that pull up the chart. Cool. Yeah, I'm looking at the chart right now. And you did launch on Pump Fund then?
Yes. Okay. So we launched on Pump Fund, on July 1st. We graduated right around, I'd say, 2 weeks after we launched, if even that. And then we've just slowly been building up for this loop period to start off. But we launched on July 1st.
Very cool. Yeah, I was just pulling it up in the Phantom right now. You guys just had a fat dip. Oh, I mean, it's only 2%, but yeah, somebody's been selling. It looks like a good entry right there. Very cool. Let me see, volume just under $500.
Yeah, there's not a lot of volume as of today. And what we're anticipating is, with us releasing the amount that you have to hold, we know that we know the holders of the wallets. So, if you only have 500,000, you're going to have to double your bag to be eligible. So it's either at that point, you might as well double your bag if you want to get the Solana rewards. So we anticipate there being that buy pressure that comes in as people are getting up to that minimum amount, or as just new people come in, understanding how many tokens that they do need to have to be able to be eligible as well.
Right. So right now it's about $60 US to be eligible.
Yep. Huh. Yep. So it's about $60, and we wanted to keep it low. Just being aware to not everyone has $250 or $150 to invest in a project. So we wanted to keep it low, at least in the beginning, just so everyone is eligible and can see what you can earn passively just by holding the token. But we will be adjusting that amount over time as our market cap grows. But we wanted to keep the entry a little bit lower, but not too low, just so we can actually incentivize some buys and really appreciate our holders who've already locked in or whoever just buys in.
Forgive me, when you say earn money passively, it's not a rewards token though, is it? It's not. No. What do you mean passively? No. You mean at the end of the 30-day loop by holding?
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
I see what you say. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So all you have to do is hold your tokens. You don't have to do anything as long as you hold your required amount, which is $1 million for this upcoming month. Then you're guaranteed to get an airdrop as long as you don't sell your tokens. So you're going to get a guaranteed Solana airdrop every month as long as you meet the required amount. and you don't sell.
Is this your first launch, your first project that you've ran? I'm just
No, so I've
curious.
co-led. Yeah, I've co-led a couple different projects. Once again, I'm a docs individual in the community. I'm a content creator, so I've been in this space since like 2021, working as marketing and co-lead and some different things like that. But this is the first time I've built it on my own, just because I was like, okay, these are the things I want to build, and I want it to be sustainable and not something that's just built off of hype or is tech, but no one's actually interested in it. So I wanted to have like something there in the middle. So this is the first project I led myself,
Yeah.
along with a couple different members on the team.
Yeah, the one thing I'm starting to think right now is why Solana and not like Sui or somewhere where there's less like PvP, just because the volume alone
Hmm.
is probably the only reason, huh?
Yeah, I would say that, as well as we really wanted to kind of create a narrative as well. I know that there's a lot of people on Solana who are PvP.
Yeah.
But that's also why we wanted to build something different on that chain, also understanding the volume that's there and what can come into our project if we're able to pay that out. So we know there's going to be a mix of people who see this as, wow, this is something on Solana that's different than other projects, and I actually can hold here and not get dumped on by everybody else. And then there's going to be those people who do come in that are more PvP style, but that's just going to drive volume into the system and reward those who do hold their tokens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there will be a lot of people that see the token and they have no idea about the project or what the about the loop or any of that. Like if someone just finds it on their own, chances are they're not going to know any of that. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if you go on to Phantom and if the website. So if I go on Touchgrass, do you see a link to your website from the? Oh wow, there's so many Touchgrass tokens. When you okay, this one looks like yours. Yeah, 60K, and then your website. So your website's not visible from Phantom, and how do you fix that? Like, how does because you know how Phantom will have the website, the official website for some projects, but not all of
Hmm.
them. Do you know
Hmm.
how? Um, Maybe you look into that, like figure out
Yeah.
how ChatGPT. I would use ChatGPT and ask it, how can I, where can I get the? Maybe it has to be listed on a particular exchange or something for that data to be. I'm really not sure.
I believe so. I've looked into it. Typically,
Mm-hmm.
with any kind of Phantom integration, it's volume based,
Mm,
and also market cap. I would have to look into specifics, but I feel like that's something I can reach out to the team there just to get a better understanding, or like you said, use Chat GPT
yeah,
to understand how to best do that.
or
And I think that's what's
Perplexity.
going to come.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think
Perplexity is
that's what's
great.
going to come. That's what's going to come with time, as well as we
Mm,
start getting more volume into the system, and we have some additional chapters, I would say, of some new things to add to the system. That's going to drive more volume and just not only from a money standpoint, but also more eyes on it. I think that's going to be times that we're making sure that that stuff is really locked in, because it's going to be, volume based, and some of those different requirements.
mm,
Like a lot of the listings we look at, like CoinGecko and things that we've already done our submissions for, that we know we have to hit certain volume metrics to be eligible for those.
mm-hmm.
So those are kind of things that we're going to have come first before we're able to knock out some of those things. But I think it will come with due time.
Well, you can also, it's a little different because did you launch on a launch pad? I didn't get that.
Yeah, we launched off Pump One.
I, you can't do that because normally, if you would have launched your own contract and not freeze it, not because there's freezing because it's in Solana, so it's Rust. Then you can still go into your contract and then. So this is a way that to get on a going gecko is to because you're a tax token too, right?
No, so we don't
It
have any
works.
taxes. Yeah, we don't have any buyer
Oh,
sell
then you
taxes
can. Then
implemented.
it's no problem. Then you can use like a volume bot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's different ways that we can go about doing it, and we have a lot of different plans of how we want to go about making sure we hit those goals. But yeah, we have those things laid out. We just really wanted to build it organically and really see what interest we garner from it in the initial stages. And what we're starting to do now, like we have a space later tonight to where we're going to explain the loop, different situations, different circumstances. And then we'll continue to also put out educational material, just explaining it even more,
Yeah.
because I think that's really what it's going to take for people to understand it.
Yeah.
And that's why we built it to where it's utility, but also has kind of that lore of like
Why
locking
I
in. Yeah.
always wonder for rewards tokens, right? Like this, and tokens that are really serious like this, and why Solana? Why did you choose Solana?
Yeah. So with Solana, with us being a volume based token that drives
There we
our
go.
loop system,
Yes. Yes.
that's really why we looked at Solana. And then,
Hmm.
two, with our narrative,
Hmm.
we know that we're trying to go against the grain when it comes to something on Solana. I know a lot of times people just get on here and get wrecked. So we're trying to have it more so a place that people can park their capital and earn additional Solana to go and invest in those meme coins, or, to go touch a little bit of grass. So we're just trying to be more so a passive income system, and volume is king on Solana, which is what helps fuel our system.
Yeah, though this is true, there's also the competition for that volume.
Of course. Of course.
A lot of competition for the volume. So that's why I always why Solana for this. I could name you five better chains that could give you a lot more volume, even though the volume on chain, but that's because of what you bring to the table would actually more align to holders there that are actually looking for that, right?
Yeah, yeah. And that's the thing. We evaluated the different chains because
Yeah.
I mean I come from AVAX, also been on Ethereum.
Hmm.
I'm gotten more into SUI as of recently. So, there's a lot of chains I'm bullish on, and I think this is just at least a stepping stone for us,
Yeah, yeah.
because we do want to be
Also,
a long term process. Yeah.
you can loop it. You can make a loop to Sui too, so you can board from other chains as well.
Exactly, and that's what we want to do. Is we want to eventually be multi-chain.
Yeah,
That this isn't only a system that's being fed off of Solana, but also start branching to these other ecosystems, to where you said there's new investors and people who aren't on Solana who are looking for a play like this as well.
yeah.
So we definitely want to branch out to other chains.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that because that's eventually going to be the future, anyways. Especially if that's your mechanism. And
Exactly.
yeah, the name of the game is volume in this industry, especially on Solana. It's just that on Solana, there's also competition for that volume. Especially if you look at the number of projects that needs to eat from that volume, it's a constant competition. And so, yeah, going multi-chain is absolutely an answer to that, and I think the community would be bullish on something like that too. I would
Oh,
go into,
definitely.
I would go into some more other chains and go into their spaces and stuff, right? To
Yeah,
check
and
check
that's what.
temperature for these things. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because I know earlier you guys were talking about like a Cardano and XRP,
yeah, yeah,
and one of the first spaces we went to was a XRPL space. So they were talking
yeah,
about the
yeah,
different projects and things they had going on,
yeah.
and it was funny. We came in and they're like, "Oh, here's a Solana project." But after discussing what we're building and getting their ideas and us
Yes,
just kind of throwing stuff at each other, they were really interested in it. And I think that's the beautiful part of it, is these spaces allow you not only to branch out and meet new people, but also
absolutely.
just learn about stuff on different chains. Like I had never been exposed to much on XRP, but I learned about different utility plays, a couple different meme coins, this person who's big in the space, and that's just from going to one of them.
No, absolutely. And I really recommend this for a lot of people, right? Don't get stuck where you are. Don't be a chain maxi, be an opportunity maxi, and be networking. Stuff happens on other chains. Volume will come to other chains as well. And we like to really I, in particular, am looking at the ones who gets the most inflow from Ethereum, and some from Bitcoin, and I want to index those because those needs to be in my portfolio. But that doesn't mean two things can be true at the same time. Though they might get the most volume, right? Other chains will get volume as well, and then you have to look at like how many projects are on there that are getting then that maybe that lower amount of volume, which is still a ton of volume, you guys. There's trillions in the market here. So there's no reason why we cannot all eat, right? It's just that, yeah, then you're going to go and look. And then sometimes you notice there's less than 300 projects on chain, and volume is coming for that, right? And it's like amazing, and you never knew because you never went to and researched any of that or connected with people from these chains. So, and especially if you want to go cross chain, some what would hold you back, right? Index, what would hold you back? Well, one thing what would hold you back is you might not technically wise not see the trees from the forest. uh, but if you go into a spaces, right, like with XRP, and you just have your question out there, like, hey guys, what if we um, go cross chain? Is there anybody here that can help technically how we can do that, or can we talk about it, right? And then you always notice there's always someone who has some technical insights in that, whether you're going to do it or not, right? It broadens your horizon. You get to learn things. Yes.
Yeah, I
So
definitely echo the same thing. And that's what I've learned in those spaces, and not even just different blockchain spaces, but just people who are building things that want
yeah,
to be able to help and be part of what
yeah,
you got going on.
yeah.
Because they can see that we're all here together. It doesn't really matter what chain you're on, your XRP or ETH or AVAX or SUI. At the end of the day, it's all crypto, right? And we want to see it succeed. So we got to really elevate the ones who are building and those who are showing up.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think when with the market turning the way it does, right, for the alts and stuff and for the blockchains, I think it's going to matter less. It's more in the bear market where everybody is looking at other chains like who that, right? But when everything pumps, it's like it doesn't matter anymore. Like you said, the overarching connector here is of course crypto. But let's say hello to Mr. G because he's on stage with us. Hello, Mr. G. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever
Good
you're coming from.
morning.
We're talking about what is the ticker. How's everybody doing today?
Hey, doing
I'm
great, Mr.
doing.
G. Good to see you. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah, thank you
talk
so
over you.
much for filling that out. I saw, yeah, what's the ticker on my listing now for affiliates. I would definitely consider you SUI as well as a crypto and blockchain expert. So thanks for adding that in the definitions. And just looking, this is the first day because we did this a couple of years ago actually, and we had a couple of dozen who had started, but then the market crashed and kind of fell apart. So it seems like this is an ideal time to start this program back up for those who need more exposure, want to get their business seen, on the web and through other communities as I travel around and share it. So yeah, thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. I still need to send mine. I still need to send in mine completely. Uh, but yeah, I'm working on it. It's just that I need to. I can't find my glasses at the moment, so I need to do that a little bit later because I can't see. I might also just want to put on my desk light here because it looks like it's getting a little bit dark. Yeah, thank you again. Yeah, for the opportunity. Let's go ahead and get that done then tonight, and I'll send it to you. Um, what would be my title? What would be my title?
I guess you're just owner, executor,
Yes,
whatever you want to call yourself. And
yes.
I was just going to share. Last week, I didn't have a chance to come back up and talk about the little conference I did in the retirement community. Did you have a second just to I could share that?
Sure. Yes. Sure. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
most of the individuals, what the topic was about credit card debt. And several of them, you had multiple credit cards, with a sizable amount on each one. So basically, what I went over is just how to pay those off using whether it be the avalanche method or the snowball method. And that's just figuring out how much you have with each credit card, figuring out which one has the highest interest rate, and in most cases, that's the one you want to pay off. But beyond that, I shared with them what they should do is look into any of the cards right now that have an 18-month 0% interest rate. So what they could do is basically consolidate their problem if they needed to, and all depending how much, roll that money over into another credit card that has 0% interest rate for the next 18 months, and then utilize that to keep chipping away at it. And these offers are always going on. So that's what I'm doing, and I just roll it into something else with a 0%, and I've been able to pay off all of my debt that way. So I shared that with the community. They weren't aware of some of those attributes and being able to participate in those zero interest rate, rolling it into. So yeah, it was a really good class, and got some new clients out of it.
That is awesome to hear. It seems like you're really on a roll with everything. I'm so happy to hear that. And in the summertime too, are you taking a break at all? You're just on fire.
No, this is the time where I get to talk with the teachers that are off for the summer. So I'm talking with them about the future of education. Since I was a teacher for 18 years and newly out of it, I'm still very adamant as to what's going on in this sector of our economy. And so yeah, I just love talking with them. And I did want to share with you in my crypto account, I am starting to dollar cost average. I probably only have about $300 or so of SUI, but I'm dollar cost averaging into that and
Yes.
staking that up a little bit more.
Awesome. Awesome. I love to hear that. That's so funny. What about what do you feel about Say?
The tickets immediately going, yes.
Yeah, well, because I just got my dad to start
Mhm.
into Sui as well. So my dad just bought some Sui, and I've been buying. It's just like I'm like, yeah, dude, like we're all in it together, and it's cool that people are having the same vision, and that we're gonna walk the same road together, so to speak. And how do you feel about Sei? I'm not trying to like make this let's talk about every coin conversation,
Tick
but
just bought CE and
yeah,
now he wants to
why?
pump his back. Let's
Well,
go.
yeah, Wild. Well, she kind of flipped my whole because I was kind of like, I don't know how I feel about it, and then when she gave me the spiel, I was like, you know what? It's a really low price right now, and I could incorporate that into my DCA as well at 32 cents. It's like
Yes,
it can't. It's like how
absolutely.
much lower can it go? You know what I mean? If we're playing price limbo, um, but
Very much a dark horse, right?
oh
We've kind of been
man.
discussing it a little bit already, but if you want me to give you a quick rundown, I'll just go. I need to go to back to
Well, and then
in
so Genius affiliates this. I'm on the realstepsnft.com. Oh, because this is your website, the Real Steps NFT. That's your company, right, Mr. G? Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so yeah, this is so cool. So I'm forgive me. I had meeting at 8 a.m. Oh, Eastern Standard Time. Jeez, that's like 5 in the morning for me. Oh man. I'm not that much of a bull. I'm not like Wild. I don't get up at 4 a.m. I'm not hyper bullish.
Well, Tick, let me share that she starts it at 8 a.m. and then by about 10 or 11, we get, the California and the West Coast to be joining us because she goes all the way. She went till 2 o'clock this last Saturday, and I was there till about 1, but I couldn't hang out all day. So, yeah, you're definitely welcome. Great information as we are collaborating because Yanda, who is really the host of that, and her and myself and just a few others years ago were the founder of the Genius Room that she's speaking about. And so she's in real estate. United States and Dominican Republic. Grid Tech is our builder. He's building smart houses in Texas. I'm the financial guy in insurance, and we're just building a huge team of people. We got coders and developers, and so yeah, it's a great spot to hang out.
That is so cool, man. I love things like this and the fact that you're trying to educate people and help people and um, share your experience, strength, and hope in crypto. That is so cool, and I see who you're aligning with as well in the timeline, and it's so cool that you're a profit maximalist, just like Wild. That it seems like you're not married to any one chain. I mean, you're just telling us that you're starting your DCA with Sui. So dude, I just love that, man, that you have, it seems like you have an open mind and you have and you have like vision and, that you're building, man. It's like if everyone was doing what you were doing, we would be in a much better place just, uh, in general. If everyone was kind of pushing towards, yeah, let's get everyone on chain. Let's get everyone, financially secure so that they can be financially free. This type of movement. This this is the type of momentum that we need. This is what crypto needs. I think it's
Absolutely, and
super cool.
there's going to be this adoption. I think it's so valuable to teach our children about crypto because these are going to be the real geniuses that are going to make so much more of this, right? Because it is going to play a big part of their lives, and I just can't wait that what these kids that are growing up where they are going to build with the blockchain because we cannot even start to imagine that because we have every generation as kind of the backpack from the last generation, and that brings limitations even though we like to be forward, right?
Mm,
We can only go that far with what we grew up with,
right.
right? And the information that we had, and so like I mean, for as far as your parents go, they still needed to go to a library for information. They actually had to go somewhere and read books, right? If they weren't in the house. And I mean, look, that is, can you even imagine that now? No, right? And so we have these things in the world that happen and that will catapult us right in a certain direction, and we can clearly see that we are in a parabolic phase when it comes to these things very quickly. We started to come from a printing press, and then 2 years later something else, and then you know um, the like with the iron, that kind of stuff. And now we're moving into like, look, phones, cell phones, right? .com,
A-
and
AI
some.
phones, crypto
Well, at one
phones.
point it's exploding, and Bitcoin is being recognized in there. To revolutionize some stuff, and it's that is going to be so much more important for the next generation. And I think we are really not paying attention to that um, uh, much, but we should. And that's why in real life I'm here with the Bitcoin guys, and we're just trying to figure out how we can build a mini Bitcoin strategy. So for children, right, to learn how to work with crypto. Um, and with blockchain technology and large. But as far as say yes, that is also a parallel scalable um, blockchain, even though it is just as fast in finality as SUI. It is a little less higher in the TPS, but it does have that EVM compatibility. And also, it has been doing a lot of stuff. And so, if I'm going to give you the technicals, these are very easy for yourself to look up, as you should always, right? It's just I forgot to mention when we were first talking about, say, in this space, was that they are um, so the recent news about SAE is that they are advocating to be included in the U.S. Crypto Strategic Reserve. And so Wyoming's adoption and the SAE Development Foundation um, are looking for a conclusion there, right? So they are trying to get into that reserve and being recognized, and that is all. That was all the latest developments on that. So I was kind of having to look back on the timeline there because I was like, was it Wyoming or Wisconsin? I didn't started with a W, but it's Wyoming. And so, yeah. So also, Wyoming is having a proactive stance on blockchain. So, yeah, yeah. It's exempting cryptocurrencies from state property tax, even so. Ding, 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 right? Which will lead us loop back to the next golden pony on in our view that just came along in June. So I like to go out and network in real life, right? So even if I'm not particularly big into something like real estate, I still go there to yeah, rub shoulders with people and network and get to know more than about it because obviously I do not know enough. And so there was the biggest European meeting here in Amsterdam. I was just called Bravado, and I went there, and there were also some crypto people, which I always happen to meet somewhere, and they were talking about Estate X, and it hadn't launched yet, right? And they were like, "Yes, there's not going to be that blockchain. It's Part of the team is Dutch. There's backing also from the founders of Tether and that kind of stuff. And we were talking about how important it is for crypto to also step into the real estate market. Just as we were talking about that DeLorean company stepping into the car industry with crypto in this way.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, and so we are going to take over these parts. And so 2 days later, ESX launched. I was kind of warning everybody, like, yeah, don't get into that initial volatility at a launch. You have no business being there.
Yeah.
This is a blockchain that is designed for real estate, and they kind of had to build their own blockchain because no other blockchain would really do the trick in all areas that they needed it to do. A lot of people don't know certain blockchains in certain countries are not allowed to be used, right? And that is because it has to comply to regulation. This is the same reason why some exchanges are not allowed in some countries and some they are. And that's because every country has different rules around certain things, also with real estate. And so they had to build their own blockchain that is really jiving with the rules in the country. So they have the larger part of Europe covered and also the United States, and then bigger areas in the world, also Dubai. Um, so that because with real estate it's a lot more difficult because we're dealing with ownership, right? And that is just not, yeah, like I can buy a house with crypto, but I still need to address somewhere and file that I actually have ownership of it, right? So, and then tax wise, it's a whole different story as well. And so they built this blockchain that can actually tackle all of that and comply with the rules and regulations in these areas. And so it's going to be bullish because you can, as a somebody who does not know about crypto but knows how to or wants to invest in real estate, can do so with their app. So it's that fractional uh, buying that you do all together, and there's a 10% return, so that's bullish. But it also allows for you to tokenize your own house or get a mortgage through crypto, and so that is going to be so great. And also they have their own real estates that they are acquiring, and they usually use for rentals, and then it's like a 7% return on that. And that's higher than anything else in Web 2 right now. And so that's in testnet, and it's sitting. This is a blockchain in testnet sitting at I think it's still sub 100 mil, maybe 120 today. I don't know, but very very low. Now also very risky, right? So lots of upside potential there, but please do your own research. They have a TG too, and they had given out so many AMAs. Just go to their Twitter and go listen to an AMA because there's things that they're addressing that are very very interesting, and maybe even questions that you have asked yourself, like how can we solve this, and they're gonna explain how that blockchain is gonna do that, and it's really interesting. So go to an AMA and then do your own research there if that's something that's in addition to your portfolio or not, right? That's up to you completely. I just marked it as being bullish because even from a trader perspective, I have to, just not from investor perspective, but from a trader perspective, I recognize something sitting at a certain market cap. And these later ones will never, even if they just half perform what they said they would do, they never stay at these low market caps for very long. And especially to find new ones and get them so early, yeah, that's kind of like you're getting lucky with that, right? So we're getting lucky here with Real Estate X. So go ahead and look at their Twitter, you guys.
You know
Even
what
if I
though?
would have not, yeah,
In the
yeah.
US, it's very difficult to get the ESX. It's not listed on Phantom in the US on the Solana
No,
blockchain, the
you can
base.
no, but you can get it straight from Radium.
Yeah, I
It's
was
in the
able to get it
pool
on
on
back.
Radium.
Yeah, I was able to get it on Backpack.
Well, then
But
look, this is what they just launched 4 weeks ago. So they got major exchanges like Kraken,
no, they're not on Kraken.
HTX. They're on
If you
Kraken.
Okay, so if I go on Kraken and I go, um, I don't know if it's just a US thing. So if I go to Explore and I put, even if I go on all and I go ESX, nothing. And if I go estate, Nothing. Here, let me see. And then I'll actually try pasting the contract address as well. Here we go. Paste. Wait, even when I paste the contract address into Kraken,
Mhm.
nothing shows. It says no results.
Well,
For
maybe that is country related. I do know that they
yeah,
are extending their exchanges in the next coming 3 weeks.
yeah.
So I hate to propose a sell the news event here, but I gathered from the team that they are preparing a very aggressive marketing rollout in the next coming 3 weeks, which also involves more exchanges. So they're going to get more listings. But I think it's very bullish that they have HTX and Kraken already
No,
covered
no,
there.
they're not on Kraken.
But I'm on Kraken. I can find them.
Yeah, not in the
I just
U.S.
logged.
Then
I logged into my Kraken just now.
go on Kraken and then search. Okay, so I
Yes,
guess
I
it's
have it in front of me.
yeah.
I just
I
searched
could
it.
take a screenshot of what I'm
Yeah.
looking at.
No, I believe you,
Yeah,
but believe me that I see it on Kraken.
yeah.
Yes.
That's super annoying. I hate
Yeah,
that.
that might be a VPN playing out here. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's weird though that on their website it doesn't disclose that it's not. In order to buy it in the U.S., it's a hassle. Oh shoot.
You can get it on Radium Protocol as well, straight from Radium.
Okay. Um, huh.
Because they
Yes.
do made a Solana pair
Right. Yeah, that's the
to
one
get
I.
all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on Backpack. So on Backpack,
Yeah.
I'm able to get it. And if you go Solana contract from their website, the US based website, and if I go into Phantom and then I paste that contract address, I don't know why on Phantom and let me see. Nothing on Phantom. That's so weird. But on
Yeah, maybe
Backpack, I'm able to
Phantom.
see it.
Yeah, maybe Phantom doesn't
Huh.
somehow doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Backpack is amazing like that.
I
I
like,
love
yeah,
backpackers. I
Backpack
like
is
it.
sick.
Yes, yes. Because it always shows everything. You don't need to, right?
Yes. Yeah,
It's not discriminating.
it
Yeah,
doesn't hide
yeah,
tokens that are dust
yeah,
bags and stuff. It's um
yeah. Which some people find annoying. I kind of like the transparency there.
yeah.
Just let me know what's inside my thing,
Yeah,
right?
I feel bad cuz I had told my dad about ESX and he wanted to buy it and then he's like, "How do I buy?" And that's always the
Oh,
worst.
wow.
I hate that roadblock because especially if I'm trying to help them and like
Yeah, yeah.
nothing's working. So he's like, "Well, what about Kraken?" I'm like, "Yeah, Kraken works." And then he tried and then he wasn't having success and then I was like, "What the hell?" So then I tried and I was like, "Oh no, it's I guess it's not on Kraken in the US." Like just a headache. I just
I'm
kept
gonna have
running
to look
into
up what the deal is with
yeah,
Kraken.
yeah, that's super
All
weird. Well,
right.
Phantom too. The fact that I can't access it on Phantom, it's like, that's super weird. I wonder, but on Coinbase,
Oh, I see Kraken in some is available in most U.S. States,
oh,
but restricted in some places.
weird.
Yeah. So how strange is this, right? So even state-wise, this is. I didn't even know that that would state-wise also be a thing. Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. You can do on Radium. There's a ESX USDT
Yeah.
pool and an ESX Solana pool. There's
On
also a
Radium.
BM. You can also get it on BNB chain. Yes.
BNB in the US is like, let me see. It doesn't like
Yeah.
work.
Again, right?
Yeah.
You're getting discriminated against.
Yeah, it sucks. Oh no, finally USD is back. I do like these things that are like here today, gone tomorrow, and then back today. It's like that's I'm like, okay, I'm not using you anymore. Like that's like with
Yeah.
I'm not sure that if I can't have confidence in what the hell I'm
Yeah.
doing, then it's so bearish. So yeah, I've never really been a fan of BNB. Um, I don't know. The only thing that's tried and true, it's like as I hate to say it because they're kind of crooks, but Coinbase is the only one that always works. 99% of the time. So it's like old reliable. Um, I just happened to use that. And then Backpack is so sick. But hold on, Backpack has an exchange as well. I didn't know that because my dad was asking me.
I didn't even know that either.
He's like, do I make a Backpack exchange account? And I was like, well, I was like, I didn't. I was like, I import. Oh, add a Backpack exchange account. Whoa, weird. Okay, I'm gonna tell him not to do that. Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's cool though. I do love helping people with this stuff. Um,
Yeah. Well,
uh,
also it kind of shows us still how early we are with
yeah,
accessing crypto, and that's why some people were saying that. Well, it doesn't matter. We're all going to be one chain in one time, and I was like, no, that's never ever going to happen,
yeah.
right?
That doesn't
That's
even
never
make
ever going to
sense.
happen. That's
That's
like the whole world coming together on one rule and one utopian. No,
yeah.
that's not going to
That's like saying that
happen.
all the liquid in the world will be Gatorade. There will be no more
Yeah,
water. Everything's going to be Gatorade. It's like no,
yes.
that's
No,
not not
that's
going to
really
happen.
not gonna. No, that's
That'd be
not.
impossible.
No.
That's funny.
So yeah, that is funny. But yes, and like it's like no, actually, they're not every blockchain is the same. They all have a very
Yeah.
much a use case,
EVM or
and
Ethereum
some
and
have a
Bitcoin.
broader use case, right? But some have a very niche use case,
Yeah.
and that doesn't make them less bullish at all. Um, they are geared towards one thing,
Is there
and
anything
and
funnier than someone that's bullish on Polygon? I'm always wondering if they're joking when people are like, it's
well,
like
it's
they're
not bearish. It's not bearish. I have to say, it's not bearish.
Polygon's such a weird thing to be like
Yeah,
to
it's
align
not
with.
not that it's not that bearish as you might think.
Uh,
I have the same with Arbitrum as a layer too, right?
mm,
It's just like I don't know about the whole word arb just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know,
yeah.
but it's getting a shit ton of volume from Ethereum. It's getting that outflow in the top five even. It's just like weird. These the numbers tell me I should be bullish on it. And so I really understand sometimes when you talk about numbers, people are attacking me because I'm talking about these numbers because it's either their token is not being mentioned
Mm,
in that outflow or something, right? And I'm just talking about the top. Everything will get outflow from Ethereum. It's like a gatekeeper, right? And I think Ethereum in the future is going to be more has more to say about the altcoins than Bitcoin will, right? Because the dominance of Bitcoin at one point that will go up and it will not drop that hard because there isn't enough Bitcoin and everybody likes to hodl it for longer. And we kind of see that dominance chart looking like that honeypot like it did. The volatility there is kind of out, right, on a dominance. And so I think Ethereum is going to be in the future more of a gatekeeper this way. Um, and so we're looking at the outflow from Ethereum and going to pay attention to that a lot more. But then when you're talking about facts and numbers, people are like, yes, but yeah, I'm holding, and I'm like, well, I kind of know what you're holding because you're getting pissed off, right?
mm,
And this everything will get volume. I'm just mentioning the top either top five or top 10 on things, but it doesn't mean that you won't do well. There's many other factors that factor in if you're going to do well, yes or no, on a particular chain, depending on what you're interested in and how many projects there are on chain that are competition to that, right? So there's a lot more to it, right, than just the outflow from Ethereum. But it's like some people are very much just so maxi on what they got, um, that they they just don't see that
hmm,
and start to get irritated and take it very personal, right? If you're a maxi, you're taking things very personal.
mm-hmm,
I had to, when I was talking about Sui, I would get a lot of the Solana people on my back with this. And I would say, like, look, I always had to give a disclaimer before I started talking about Sui, that by no means does it mean that Solana won't do well. We're talking about oranges and apples.
mm-hmm.
I don't compare Injective to XRP either because it has no business other than maybe you could look at a chart and say like, hey, we see some patterns that are the same, but it doesn't mean that the token is the same. It does the same things. They have a Sui and Solana happen to have that Solana was the fastest last bull run and it came out as new, and Sui is now faster. and it's now the one that's the fastest is Bull Run. So it can be there can be some relation there, or something that you can compare. And that doesn't mean that the other one has suddenly died and did nothing, going to do nothing. Very different blockchains altogether, right? Very different market that they're looking at as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Solana is going to be there. It's just the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So don't worry about Solana. It's just that for trading wise, I'm looking at where should I be for things to discover what is being preferred now in the market to trade, and that is going to be Sui. That's getting the most outflow from Ethereum. And again, that doesn't mean it's I hold Solana. It doesn't mean that Solana won't do well. It's
Mm-hmm.
just that everybody likes to know and distinguish which one is going to be the one that takes the show. This bull run. There's always going
Yeah.
to be one,
There's got to be the
and
best. Yeah.
there's always one that stands out.
Mm-hmm.
There's always one that outperforms and make moves when the others don't. Right?
Yeah. Being
And
good
and
is
that
good, but being the best, we want to be the best, right?
yeah.
You want your
Well,
pony to be the best.
yeah. Well, it doesn't for me. It doesn't matter if it would have been Solana. I would have. I hold Solana as well as Sui. But like I said, it's then everybody's like, yeah, why don't you hold all Sui then? Well, again, risk management, right?
Yeah, it's a bad idea.
If there's another fucking Cetus hack then in the middle of the bull run, then this whole golden pony thing is not the golden pony's crippled, right?
Yeah. And let's
Yeah,
say
and
you have
then
10K in Sui and it pulls back
yeah,
30%.
yeah,
We're talking about
yeah.
a few grand that all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
So you got to, even though we're bullish, you still got to do some, again, that risk management comes into play. There's just a lot more to it. And then also what you hold on these chains and what you prefer. And that's up to you. It's just like, yeah, build a portfolio that is risk managed in a certain way and buy some Bitcoin again, right? Not because of the upside potential of Bitcoin, but because it is going to be usable as leverage and collateral, and because everybody's going to want your Bitcoin. And I can really see this happening here in my country. They're eyeballing my Bitcoin like nothing else, and they're not getting any because they're all going to make it available for us to pay taxes with Bitcoin because that's how. See, the Dutch government is very, very clever. They're very clever, right? They're not going to buy Bitcoin themselves. They're going to take it from us.
Mm, yeah.
This is going to be like, well, why buy Bitcoin if you can take it from your people?
Just seize it.
Just haven't paid taxes in Bitcoin.
Mm.
How easy would that be? But let's do some last words because you guys, I actually channeled my inner housewife, which I do not do often, I admit, and I actually baked a protein cake with blackberries that we actually picked.
Oh, nice.
Out it yet? We picked it ourselves. I'm feeling very accomplished right now and having made a nice protein cake
That's awesome.
with the blackberries. So it's waiting for me as a treat. So let's do some last words. King Crab, are you still with us?
Yep, I'm still with you. Uh,
Nice.
what I want to touch on something you said, Wild, and granted, it's not financial advice, but you should kind of take it. Regardless, slow down. You're gonna have people rushing you to get things done. If they're trying to rush you, there's a reason why, and they're trying to get your emotions and push you through something you know you shouldn't be doing. So slow down. Also, slow yourself down if you make a bad play or a good play, because your emotions are going to get the best of you. You're going to, don't over liquidate yourself. But if you get rugged, slow down, learn from it, and do your own research. Do your research better. So other than that, I love you guys. I love being up here. I love learning from all you guys. So thank you.
That's so
Yes, good
cool.
point. Good point there, Mr. King Crab. Because look, um, you got it right. Time is your friend. Time is your friend. And if you have a plan, the less emotional you are around your finances, the better you can stick to your plan, the better you will be in the end. because you will not, you made your plan. You always go back to the why you made it, and then you can be confident in yourself, and time will unfold, right? And then you can stick with your plan. If you get emotional, you deviate from your plan, that's when you get in trouble, right? So if you FOMO, if you recognize as a person who FOMOs quickly, which we all do to some extent, but some people more than others. And if you recognize that about yourself, put things on a watch list first. Have that as a rule,
Or put
part
like
of your plan.
$10 in so you can watch it, pull back.
No,
Yeah.
don't. No, no,
No?
don't even.
You don't
No,
like
put it
that?
on your watch list and watch how price goes up and down and always come and relax in that. Do your research, right? Watch it a little bit. Do your research on it a little bit longer and grow some conviction. And then you can always look for an entry. And what that looks like is up to you, right? Also, if you FOMO a lot on new pairs and high risk plays, meme tokens, and a lot, all right, I don't want you to use a phone which has your wallets. Use a different device where only your wallets are on. First of all, that's going to help you very much because if you click a long link and your wallets are hot, you're going to get wrecked before the bull run even start, before the alt season even start, right? So to have an older device or some sort of device that you're laying around and have no socials on there, just your wallets, your main wallets, right? It also um, gives you that essence of time. So you want to get it, you see a contract, you want to get in as fast as you can, but now you got to go to the other side of the room, get that phone, turn it on, hook it up to the internet, and then open your wallets. And that time might be acting as a little bit of a cool off because you're going to walk back to the chart and the chart may be down and you'll be like, oh, wait a minute, right? And so that can help too. It's just like when you're on a diet and you want to have a treat, but you really got to lose that weight, right? Then put your treats somewhere, not in the house, but maybe in a shed or somewhere where you actually have to go out and get it. So if you really want it, you would go for it. But yeah, if going outside makes you feel uncomfortable at night or something, you're just like, yeah, it's too cold. Then yeah, did you really need the cookie, right? I mean, if you're willing to dash for it in the middle of the night in your pajamas, then I think you may have to serve the cookie, but not otherwise. And so you're giving the essence, putting in the essence of time as a delay to a response, and you're gonna force that, right? So that's helpful. If you FOMO a lot and you're aping a lot left and right, and you think, what am I doing? Why am I doing it for? Well, you also allow yourself to because it's easy. And when you make it a little bit harder, that logic brain might switch on and be like, oh, well, wait a minute. Yeah, king crab.
Yeah, I was gonna say, freeze those cookies, put them in the deep freezer, because you're gonna have to wait for them
Okay.
things to
Yeah.
thaw out.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, right? So you're introducing the element of delay, time, right? And so you're gonna then reconsider if it's worth it or not. And that is a very important question that should always come into your mind. Okay, is this is this okay or not, right? And then a thinking mechanism will be. But when you FOMO and are in an emotional state, that thinking is going to be off, and you're going to be possibly making some wrong decisions. So time is always your friend this way. Use time to your benefit, even though your time on earth is finite, that's for sure, right? But that's why you also want to make good decisions to navigate that. So maybe Mr. G has some last words. um, Mr. G.
Oh yeah, just enjoying the conversation, doing a little artwork over here as I grab affiliates and just kind of create this program I was telling you about. But all good stuff, yeah, definitely. And love the chart on Sui. That's why I would have dollar cost average a little more, but this weekend I added a little more to Vine just because Vine was just going crazy. So I'm up, 231% the week on Vine. But I'll be getting out of that one soon and dollar cost averaging more into probably Sui, Tezos, and some of the others. So thank you for your time today.
That is so cool.
Thank you for showing up. Let me go ahead and search for the outro here. Normally I'm ready, but I have some protein cake with blackberries on my mind, you
Hey,
guys.
bring Seth up in here, Mr. G, your son. We'd like to, speak with him, hear about what he's building and creating, and all that stuff. Because I know that he was working, developing that game. And I've taken a look at his website and everything. He's doing a lot of great stuff. And so if he ever wants to join us in the space, that'd be awesome too to hear from him as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate that. I've got him kind of busy right now. We are finalizing our course because that's going into schools this year. So we just got the word that we actually moved the platform that hosts our videos onto Amazon because they were all glitchy and now they run so much smoother. But he's finalizing that. He's studying for his Series 6. We should have actually taken it this week or actually last week, but I'm going to be scheduling for next week because our company's sponsoring him. So that's why we're waiting. But once he's done with his exams, definitely we'll jump back on and get active with you guys.
That is awesome. Very cool.
Awesome. Waiting for that. Let's see if I can get the outro going. So we just, stick with the rules, stick with the plan.
Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go. Yep, there we go. I got it. I found it.
What's the ticker?
What's the ticker? Ooh.
What's the ticker? Where's it at? What is the ticker? Where's it at? I got crypto in the bag, send the CA in the chat. Gonna ape another fact. Got a runner on the map, so line of sniping like a gat. And the Sophie is moving quickly. I'm the squeezing where they at. I'm trying to bring the Mimquins back. 1,000X is gonna land. I got it chilling in the back, and the gas fees are gonna slap. Where's the ticker? Where's it at?
Yes, you guys. That was it for Monday. Thank you, YouTube viewers and on X and everybody here in the room, right? Stay bullish on yourself. Also, give each other a follow. Follow people on stage, but also to your left and your right because you need to make more friends. Let's go. Tick.
Thank you so much for joining us, fam. You guys have a great rest of your day and stay bullish, my friends. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, we're pumping tomorrow, by the way. Let's go.
Let's go.